Hey guys, so on Tuesday, Apple had another Keynote event. Now, this event was mainly geared toward iPad, but they also talked a lot about OS X and Mac. So, here I am to cover the Apple October 2013 Keynote. Let's go. So first, let's talk about what they said about OS X. Now, they did release it that same day, October 22nd. You can get it for free now in the Mac App Store, unlike in the past where it had been $30. OS X is using now something called compressed memory. Now, memory refers to RAM, and basically, with it, it compresses the unused RAM that's in your computer so you can get more out of it. So basically, you can fit 6 gigabytes of RAM usage into only 4 gigabytes of installed RAM. That's pretty cool. Now, with Mavericks, it's smarter. So it can adjust the CPU and the GPU, the central processing unit and the graphical processing unit, to balance their usage and improve performance and make it even faster of a system, which is awesome. It's got something called OpenCL, which means it can move tasks from the central processing unit that would normally be there and put it on the graphics processor, and that improves even more performance. Okay? Now, just some user interface improvements. Now, when you get an iMessage, you can reply right there. There's a button. You don't have to go into the app. You don't have to go to another screen. You can reply right there in the notification center. So that's pretty cool. And now with OS X, they brought iMacs. They brought iBooks to OS X. So that's nice for people that read, not me. So now let's talk about the MacBook Pro. The 13-inch model has that improved battery life just like the 2013 MacBook Air does. It's thinner and lighter, obviously. And it's got faster Wi-Fi, it's got better storage, and it's faster storage. And it's got a faster processor. Now the 15-inch has this stuff and then some. It's got an even better processor and graphics processor. And it can get 8 hours of battery life, which is just shorter than the 13-inch. But what do you expect? It's got 2 more inches of Retina display to power. So the Mac Pro, this new Mac Pro's got that all-new innovative design. The cooling system, they talked about that, and a release date. It's going to be released in December. So by the end of the year, we will be seeing this thing. It has the fastest processor and the fastest RAM ever put in a Mac. Ever. And it has dual graphics processors, which is really nice. And it supports up to 3 4K displays. That, in and of itself in a computer, is a big selling point. If you're unfamiliar with 4K displays, I did a video on it right there. Just explaining what a 4K display is. You can use up to 3 4K displays. It's basically just ultra high definition. That's what 4K displays are. That is incredible to do that. And of course, the selling point of it being more energy efficient and quieter than the old Mac Pro. In fact, it's as quiet as a Mac Mini. That's how it's awesome. It's awesome that they were able to do. Now let's talk about iLife and iWork. So they've improved GarageBand. One big thing they've done is they've added Drummer, which is basically you have your music track, you think, I want a little more to this. So you can have a program thing, and the drummer will drum to the beat. You can pick from a bunch of drummers and put in a drum track. It's pretty cool. Pages for iOS has been greatly improved. One thing they've done to improve accessibility is when you're using it, at the top of the keyboard, they have those bold, italic, and underline, and all those buttons that, for example, Word used to have in a toolbar up at the top under the pull-down menus. So that's nice. Keynote for iOS has these all-new animations. It's really, really nice, and it's basically exactly like using a computer now, and you wouldn't be able to tell that these came from an iPhone or an iPad. You just think that they came from a computer. They're beautiful animations. And iWork for iCloud has been improved. It's actually been taken out of beta. It was in beta before. So one thing that they've added is collaboration. So if I'm over here and my friend's at his house, like if I'm at work, my friend's at his house, and we don't work together, all the changes are made in real time. So any changes he makes, I can see. Any changes I make, he can see. So it's really nice. You can work together on a project through the internet with iCloud, and that's really nice. And you can even use it, as they said, if you're stuck on a PC, you can use it with a friend who's stuck on a PC because it's through iCloud.com. Okay, now let's talk about the big thing here, the iPads. Okay, now the iPad Air is the 9.7-inch display of the original iPad had. They didn't change the size. It has a 10-hour battery life. Now with design changes, it's got a 43% smaller bezel that border around the screen, between the screen and the edge of the device. So it's got about the same size bezel as the iPad mini now. It's very thin. It's 20% thinner than the iPad 4, which was released a year ago. It's very light. The iPad 4, for example, was 1.4 pounds. The iPad Air is only 1 pound. Now, when you talk pound, you might not think that's very light, especially when you hear iPhones are only like 200 grams, but it's really light for a tablet, trust me. The iPad Air has the A7 and the M7 chips, just like the iPhone 5S does, and the iPad Air itself is 2 times faster than the iPad 4. Wi-Fi in the iPad Air is 2 times faster, and this iPad Air will be shipping November 1st. Now, a lot of people were hoping for a price drop. Unfortunately, that didn't happen. Still exact same price as the flagship iPad has always been. But they did announce that iPad Mini 2 has Retina display now. It's basically the biggest thing of it. It's got similar specs to the iPad Air, besides weight and size and stuff. It's obviously still got the 7.9-inch display. It's obviously lighter since it's smaller. One thing that a lot of people were expecting, and nobody really sure why, but none of the iPads have Touch ID. The only device, as of right now, that has Touch ID is the iPhone 5S. Will they incorporate it in later generations, maybe next year? Probably. But a lot of people were expecting the new iPad to have Touch ID, and it just doesn't have it. So that's a little strange. So anyway, guys, that's it for me. Don't forget to check out those links in the description to everything I talked about, Apple's pages for it, and you can watch the keynote itself. I'm Joe Green. And I approve this message. Hey guys, so